What's up, YouTube? I'm Z, and this channel shows you the world through my lens. I was meant to react to this like 3 days ago, but I had a crazy weekend, didn't really get a chance to do much work, so we're reacting to it today. Listen, I have some stuff to say because I have been keeping up with the news around the WNBA and Caitlin Clark and all this stuff, so I definitely have some stuff to say, but I'll save that for the end. Let's go ahead and watch this one because I heard that some stuff went down in this game. I don't know if they'll show it in the highlights, but we'll check it out.
A rare miss at the rim for Aaliyah Boston, the league's top field goal percentage shooter in the WNBA, but it's Boston who comes up with the steal and the find to Howard. Indiana hit a franchise record 17 of them on Saturday. Here's Boston with tons of space working on Charles and gets it to go. All trying to push the pace here. Mitchell back
nice.
for a little two-man
like
game,
that.
and Hull sinks the triple.
The shallow cut I'm talking
like
about.
that a
Watch
lot.
how she gets just a short piece of the paint, and then Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah, that was a nice. Basically, you penetrate, you have the defense crash on you, the defense crash, kick to the open shooter.
With a throwback pass. Back to back.
Quite effective, Charles. 17 points per game coming into
man.
tonight.
I like how quick
Mitchell, who had it
Mitchell
poked
is.
away. Clark launches.
Bucket.
And
Come on
hits.
now. Come on
In
now.
the 2024 draft, where Clark went #1.
I'm sure we'll see some Sanaya Rivers on that
Look
matchup
at her
as well.
speed.
Mitchell cutting inside and finishing. One dribble and a finish.
Charles, with the small lineup on the floor, has an advantage.
Okay, with the
Mitchell
contact,
beats
I like
everyone
it.
back in on a made bucket. Kelsey Mitchell. Clark working on the rookie. Clark on the drive. Hang shot too strong. There's Howard to clean up.
And Clark working
She's definitely.
off the ball, comes off the stagger.
It's still looking for their first three-pointer of the game. Indiana's hit a couple. Clark has one of the two. Clark through a double team. Boston extra pass. Howard
Good
hangs,
extra
and
pass.
Howard lays it in.
Hey, the lift, and you're going 2-on-1 on the backside. Howard.
He hit 3 of those her last visit here. Rivers is an impressive looking.
What a pass.
Out of NC
What?
State, but
Bro, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Anyone who says she's overrated, don't talk to me. I don't see other players being physically handled this way and still making plays. I know that time she didn't, but the previous play, she was literally, if I pause it and had the ability to zoom in, you have like arm grabbing and check. Oh, don't talk to me. That pass was nasty. Come on.
Boston on the other end finishes, and it's a 6-0 run for Indiana.
What a pass.
Oh, there's a switch that Mitchell's going to like.
Mitchell tries to take advantage, runs into a wall, leans in, off balance, and banks it home.
You can see that lining up. Watch Mitchell right here. She's just sizing up Nelson Adota at 6'5". Then she gets the switch on Brown.
Tough,
Gets
tough,
back
tough
to that
shot.
left hand.
Wow.
Kelsey.
Connecticut's opened up just 1 of 6 from the three-point line. The Fever defend the three-point line as well as anybody in the WNBA. Opponents shoot just 27%. And here's Boston for 2.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird. So, okay.
Opened up just 1
You
of
come
6
here,
from the
you have a screen in transition, right? Either you have to instruct that you're not switching those, or you stick with the switch.
line.
So now you have Aaliyah Boston, who's not like a random player. Like she's, you know, if you're saying Caitlin is the best player on the team, she's the second best player on the team. But I think she's right up there. They just have different playing styles. You have her right here with nobody on her, right? And as
The Fever defend the three-point
the defender tries to come back, look at the space.
line as
And
well as
there, make the pass. This was the right move. There's too much space for this defender to cover.
anybody in the WNBA.
And
Opponents.
boom. Hyper focusing on Caitlin. But that's the effect that superstars have. When you're a superstar, you command so much attention that the defenses are going to make
three-point
mistakes
line,
like
the
this.
Fever
So this
defend
is
the
a mistake. That is terrible. What is this?
Point line
Then
as
you
well as
come
anybody
back
in the WNBA.
and so hyper-focused that Caitlin's going to get the
opponent.
ball. She's chasing. She's operating like they're going to switch. And open shot for Aaliyah Boston, who's obviously going to score.
Just 27%. And here's Boston for 2.
It was chippy the last time these two teams faced off too. Sophie Cunningham suffered her ankle injury in that game, but in addition to that, she actually had part of her front tooth knocked out. She made contact with JC Sheldon as Caitlin Clark knocks down the triple.
She averaged 28.1 feet and
What a
7
shot.
triples. And keep in mind, the Fever had 17 as a team.
Nah, man. Why?
1 feet and 7 triples. And we're keeping.
Bro, y'all don't understand. I know everybody wants to talk about her shooting and scoring ability. This girl can pass. I think only people who play basketball are going to appreciate that pass. It might just look like a normal pass. That was nasty.
Keep in mind, the Fever had 17 as a team.
Great cut,
what a
too.
bounce pass into a cutting Dantas.
But what people don't talk about enough is how hard you have to work to be able to be that good. All the hours that she's spent perfecting her craft.
Retreating, firing,
Bucket.
and hitting.
Come
If
on.
she can do that.
Come on, man.
On Indiana
Bucket.
arguing the call.
I mean, step back, you're late. She almost
Bucket.
looks
Come
you in
on.
the eye and says,
But off the backboard and into the hands of Mabry. Oh,
Good
Clark just took it
D.
away.
Come on.
It's a 2-on-1. Clark bounce
Another
pass,
beautiful
pretty
bounce
fine.
pass.
And Mitchell won't
Bro,
miss from
let's bring back the bounce pass. Yes.
you're always trying to get numbers. Right here, the pick, and you got a 2-on-1. She looks like she's pulling up and then drops the dime.
Well, the way Clark's shooting the three, that still might be the right defensive move.
Yeah. Don't give up the three.
And first of all, I talk about this all the time. Cross-court passes. Nah,
Sees it
don't do
all.
it.
She sees all
Don't do
9
it.
players.
Okay, Dirk.
Difficult look there for Dantas. Mitchell battling inside. Offensive rebound.
A little-
And
nice
the
little
putback for
Dirk-esque
Mitchell, and she's got
1
10.
foot fadeaway.
First half for Tina Charles. Connecticut pulls back within 6.
Wow, what a
Dantas
cut.
bounce pass in. It's
Give and
Clark
go.
right
Let's
up the
go.
middle.
Caitlin loves that get action.
Cunningham. Mitchell just blows by Hartley. Mitchell gets to the rim.
It's a really great pass by Sophie
That was a good
Cunningham.
pass.
The defense is loaded to the ball. When you reverse the ball to the other side, it is hard to catch up, especially.
Yeah, it's a good pass not because of the difficulty of it, but it's a good pass because of the read on the floor of where the defense was placed.
They're going to come out and play with incredible focus right here.
Mabry now 0 of 5 from the three-point line. His whole spots up and
Okay,
knocks down a three.
let's go. Come on now. Oh,
good
beautiful. See? Again,
Extra
hyper-focus.
pass. Mitchell is wide open.
But this is it. And I don't know that.
Point
I don't
line,
know
his
that you
whole
can
spots
say-
up and knocks down a three.
So let's watch it together. I don't know that you can say that it's the wrong move defensively because you have somebody that is such an offensive threat. Now, there are people. So historically, there's this concept of like, let the superstar score. We shut down everybody else. I don't remember who said that, but basically, it's like, is this one person going to outscore our entire team? Let's focus on shutting everybody else down. I personally prefer that. I would prefer that she scores 30, but we get the dub. Like, okay, what are you going to do? You're going to score 90 points by yourself? Let's see it. So for me personally as a coach, if I was coaching, I would just go single coverage on her and just make sure nobody else scores. Because when you have the hyper focus here, she's still scoring. She's still getting her numbers, but look what else is happening, right? You have this hyper focus. This person is just blindly chasing her around the entire court. They're switching as though that's their defensive strategy. This is the correct move for this player because of what's happened here. She has to step down to protect this rim, cut off Aaliyah Boston. That's the right move. This person hanging out here, she should immediately cut into the middle as well. Like, you don't just give up because, you guys messed up your switch. And then, you have the rotations of these two players. Both of these players did the right thing based on the mistakes that happened here. But you get the open shooter in the corner.
Extra pass. Mitchell is wide open and splashes home a three. Third year in her WNBA in terms of setting up her teammates.
Beautiful. Look at this.
Clark behind the back, feed inside. 2 more for Howard.
Yes.
Most quickly. After what must have been a 10-minute break. Oh, Holt just splits a double team inside.
Oh, good
Howard making
putback.
and finishing.
Let's
If you know
go.
anything about Marina Mabry, and I know Mabry, this is not going to really affect her that much. Honestly, play on the court. Very interesting. talking about toughness. Plus, he needs them on the floor to win.
And Dantas just backing in. Mitchell stepping back on Rivers, clearing some
Bucket,
space
come
and
on.
knocking it down.
Good shot.
Contact, no whistle either direction. Shot clock down to 12. Dantas straight away, knocks down the three.
She was due.
She was due. That's a funny thing to say.
Cunningham on the drive,
Okay,
gets to the
girl.
rim.
Good take.
Clark. Oh, look at Flash running the floor, just couldn't handle it.
Good
Able
save.
to get it to Hall,
Kinda looked
save
like
the
she was online,
possession.
but I don't know.
Boston is wide open and splashes home a three.
They're saying she was out of bounds. Let's see.
Boston is wide open and splash.
Maybe she was.
And able to get Clark. Oh, look at Flash running the floor, just couldn't handle it.
Ooh, maybe. Sorry.
And able to get it to Hall,
Maybe.
save
She
the
might have been
possession.
out.
Boston is wide open and splashes home a three.
Good shot.
All the way to the baseline, you flatten out the defense, and that leaves Aaliyah Boston wide open to walk into a triple.
Avery seen a double team and threw it right to Howard. Clark
Wow.
weaving through traffic and
Dude.
gets the roll.
So nice. So casual.
Cole, touch pass, Cunningham wide open. Oh,
Okay.
she gets the shooter's touch.
Nothing wrong with
She just
that.
texts me. She never texts me during the game.
All right. Here is Clark splashing home a three from way downtown.
Oh my gosh.
Kelly escorting her back to the bench.
Oh
J.C.
my
Sheldon
gosh.
is there.
Going left. Whole body momentum going left as a right-handed shooter. And here's the other reason that's hard, okay? I've talked about this so many times before, not just because of the direction, because of how you're shooting, because of your body balance, but
Kelly
the
escorting
defender
her
that's
back to the
trying to
bench.
catch up as you're going left and you're shooting right. This is the side that's closer to the defender. It's just hard on so many levels, and she's so good at doing this shot. At taking
J.C.
the
Sheldon
shot,
is
making
there
the shot.
with her hand in her face.
All right, so they're not going to show the incident. That's okay. We'll talk about it.
There's Hull working the baseline, kick back out. Dantas is wide open and connects. Allen got knocked to the ground. Cunningham pokes it away.
All right, so they're not going to talk about it. I don't know. That was a weird place for them to stop the highlights, but maybe they're trying not to show the situation. Should I look it up? I don't know. We could just talk about it. So, I mean, look, you know, in this particular game, Caitlin Clark, she's making some moves. I think it was before that crazy three. I think that three was like directly after the face poke, eye poke. And like, you know, you're having people playing physical with you the entire time. And you're going to get frustrated. You're human. So I think her reaction to like kind of pushing away after getting poked in the face, poked in the eye, it's a human reaction. I think that her getting knocked down by by what's her name? I can't remember. Was it Mayberry? I don't know if it was Mayberry, if it was someone else. But, you know, it just shows in an instant what has kind of been going on. And I mean, look at players in the NBA. Let's compare it to the NBA, okay? Because people want to try to tell us that this is normal treatment for somebody new. First of all, this is now her second year, okay? So if you want to talk about rookies like having to earn their stripes, and like they kind of have to go through their rookie hazing, if you will, or welcome to the league moments. All right, fine. We did that last year. That was done. She, in that process, broke 60 plus records of your WNBA, which you claim to be, you know, at her level or above her level. But if that was true, she probably wouldn't have broken 60 records. But she did, okay? That happened last year. We're now in the next year, Okay, so you can't use that excuse anymore. She is now a part of the league. She's an established player. She has to be treated like everybody else that you play. I don't see you treating everybody else that way. I mean, just this one statistic alone, that 17% of the flagrant fouls last year were against Caitlin Clark. How does that make sense? Is there an equivalent to that in the NBA? Like, it doesn't make sense. That's not how you play the game. I don't know what words you want to use to it. I just think that there's resentment. And do I think that it's normal to feel resentment? Yeah, for sure, 100%. Because, you know, her success should not discredit everybody else and what they have achieved. Her success is possible because of what everybody else achieved, right? This is how things work. Like, have you looked at the numbers of what pre-Jordan era players were making, and then what Jordan made in his career, and then what players have made post-Jordan era? I mean, the resentment could be massive, right? But the reality is each era of players have their role in growing the game. And because she has a very sensational style of playing, that can resemble something that people look for in the men's game, which is a much bigger audience. Now, why am I drawing that comparison? I'm drawing that comparison because a lot of times people who watch men's basketball, the criticism that they're going to give in terms of not wanting to watch women's basketball is that the men's game is like much faster, much more explosive. You have dunks, the physicality, blah, 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 right? But we're going to talk about another player, Steph Curry, who changed men's basketball. And, you know, it's a completely different game than it was 15 years ago. And that's one of the things that people like to watch. Crazy three-point shooters. I mean, you're seeing like Tyrese Halliburton here. I just watched the Game 7 thing, and he's taking shots from like close to the logo range consistently, right? Steph Curry, crazy shots. So once you now have a player who can kind of resemble some of that, she's taking really difficult shots. She's having to run around very similar to Steph Curry just to get open, just to get the opportunity to take those shots. And then she's taking them from deep. She's taking them off the dribble. She's taking them off balance. Like, you have something that resembles what fans enjoy watching from the men's game. And if there's already a pre-established pool of fans to pull from, well, that's basketball and this is basketball. That's the easiest fan base to pull from. So do I think it's, do I think the success has a lot or mostly or only to do with Caitlin? Kinda, yeah. Now, will it bring appreciation for other players? It absolutely can, but that's dependent on the other players. If you come in and you respect the sport and you're here to play basketball, that doesn't mean play soft, play tough basketball. That's fine. But a lot of what we're seeing is not basketball. A lot of what we're seeing is like, is bullying. Like that's as simple as you can put it. Not even bully ball. Bully ball is like a concept within basketball. We're just seeing straight up bullying. And that is gonna, look, if you injure her, right? If you keep doing this and you injure her, we already saw what happened to ratings, viewership, ticket sales when she was out for a few games, right? We've seen that. We saw how the numbers dropped, okay? If it had nothing to do with her, the numbers would have stayed steady. If it had nothing to do with her, teams wouldn't be sourcing bigger stadiums or bigger arenas when they're playing Indiana and then going back to smaller arenas when they're not playing Indiana, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is, let's say she doesn't get injured, but she gets sick of this. She has options. She could go somewhere else. She could leave the league. Then what? Right? What's going to happen at that point? Versus, if we can accept, look, this is just the next wave that's going to raise, and it's just a bigger wave than we've experienced ever before. So maybe it's a little scary, but let's embrace it. Rising tide lifts all boats. I think the quote is something like that. And let's get on that dang boat. If you're not on the boat, you're going to get crushed by the wave. A lot of these players are not getting on the boat. Get on the boat. Get on the boat. Why not create healthy rivalries? Not I'm going to say outlandish things and weird takes on just the current situations that are going on. Sometimes make it about race. Like, it's just a weird moment. You know, you've had huge stars come in with huge expectations in the NBA. Look at how that was embraced. I mean, let's look at LeBron James. He's been in the league for how long, right? Nobody was bullying him like this. Were they giving him his welcome to the league moments? Yeah, absolutely. It's all there. It's all there. But nobody was bullying him like this in the NBA. And he's coming in and people are, before, like, I guess high school kid, he's coming in and people are like, oh, he's going to be the greatest thing ever. He's already the greatest thing ever. Oh, man. The rants. Sorry. I don't even know how long I've been talking for, but it's way too long. I don't script any of this, by the way. This is just me putting on the camera, reading this. And you guys are probably listening to that statement. You're like, Z, we definitely know you don't script this, because if you scripted that was terrible. But anyways, I don't know. I just hope that they get it together. She's fun to watch. It brings attention to other players. I will tell you the truth. I watch very, very, very limited WNBA outside of like a few clips here or whatever. But now I'm learning about other players because I was sucked into the game by seeing somebody that's sensational, that's different. And that doesn't mean it takes away from the players that I'm noticing. You know, it doesn't take away from, I'm going to say her name wrong, but AJ Wilson. I'm not sure if that's how you say her name, but she's amazing, you know? So, I don't know. And she's not the only one. There's a lot of great players in the league. It just sucks that this is the narrative that we're stuck in. So, if you guys are still here, I appreciate you spending your time with me. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.